Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shamil Nazleen bin Zulkifli. My metric number is 278048. I'm going to present about my research, the topic which is a factor affecting the demand for nasi kandar among UM students. Nowadays, the majority of Malaysian and the people of the world today love nasi kandar, especially those from the north of Peninsular Malaysia, which is Penang, which was first introduced in the 18th century. Now, this cuisine has become the choice of various ethnicities. For the first problem segment is intense competition. Many people have lost their employment as a result of the uncertain Malaysia economy in 2022. For the second is inflation. Inflation issue increasing in which there is an increase in the general price level for goods and services in Malaysia from time to time. And the third is business cycle, the level of fluctuation of repeat economic activity over a period of time. For the research question, first is to identify the demographic characteristics of UM students that affect the demand for nasi kandar. Second, to analyze the gender difference that affect the demand of UM students. Third, to investigate the location, variety of menu, operation hours and price affect the demand for nasi kandar. And lastly is to analyze the location, the variety of menu, operation hours and price have a significant relationship with the demand for nasi kandar. For the theoretical background, first is theory of demand. In demand theory, demand relates to consumer and cost for product and services in the market. It can also be represented by the demand curve, which slopes horizontally downward as the sum of the item increases. On the contrary, as the quantity of goods decreases, the price is up. With that, demand for nasi kandar can be influenced by location, variation of menu, hours of operation and prices. For the second is theory of consumer. Based on our observation studies of how and why individuals spend their money depending on their preference, it's referred to by this phrase, which is also known as consumer choice. Economists presumptively believe that individuals are rational and want to maximize their individual utility function. With this, the consumer for nasi kandar can be affected by the location, variety of menu, operation hours and prices. For the empirical theories, the first one is the demand of nasi kandar for the cafe location. In a previous study conducted by Ibrahim and colleagues 2017 among the Malaysian population related to the factor that affect the demand for nasi kandar. In the study, the location of the restaurant has become one of the factors that can influence the demand for nasi kandar. Second, the demand of nasi kandar for a variation of menu. Based on a study conducted by Zulkifli and Pribik 2007 among students of higher education institutions in Cyprus, the result of the study have found that the variety of the menu can be a factor that affect the demand for a particular dish. For the third is the demand of nasi kandar for the operation hours. Based on the study by Shuhaida and colleagues 2003, they conducted a study among the residents of Shah Alam to Mamak restaurant. Researchers found that the operating hours for a restaurant are very important in influencing the demand for the dishes sold. And the last but not least is the demand of nasi kandar for the meal price. Based on the study carried out by Lily White and colleagues 2009 among the population in the United States related to the demand sold in a restaurant. The result of the study have found that the price factor has become one of the factors that affect the demand for the restaurant. Okay, for the theoretical framework, the demand of nasi kandar is a dependent variable, and for the price, operation hours, location, and variation of menu is a independent variable. Okay, next, the data is collected and analyzed through questionnaire. For the total sample size is 300. We distribute questionnaire through online in the Google form, and survey will be distributed through online platforms such as Facebook and WhatsApp. And lastly, for the data analyzed by frequency distribution, which is demography, t-test, one-way ANOVA, and person correlation. Now I will explain about the data analysis and findings. First, demographic background. For gender, we see that the percentage of male is more than female, which is 62.7% for male and 37.3% for female. Next, for the races, we found Malay recorded the highest percentage, which is 43.3%, and the lowest race is other races, which is 0.7%. Next, for age, we found the age 21 to 23 recorded the highest percentage, which was 58%, and the lowest was recorded for age 26 and above, which was 1.3%. For nasi kandar total expenditure, we found that expenditure of less than RM100 recorded the highest percentage, which was 51.3%, and for the lowest record was expenditure of RM201 to 300, which was 13%. For the accommodation, we found that Tridwin and Petronas recorded the higher percentage, which was 21.3%, and the lowest was recorded by BSN, which was 1.3%. Next, for the frequency of buying nasi kandar, the frequency of students who buy nasi kandar, which is twice per month, recorded the highest percentage, which is 40%. And the frequency of students who never buy recorded the lowest percentage, which is 8%. Next, I will explain for the t-test. For the first variable is location. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference of location among the gender. The alternative hypothesis is that there is a significant difference in location among gender. The result of p-value is 0.001, which is less than 0.1. With that, the null hypothesis is rejected. For the second variable is variation of menu. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference in the variety of menu among the gender. The alternative hypothesis is that there is a significant difference in the variety of menu among gender. The result of p-value is 0.722, which is more than 0.1. With that, the null hypothesis is not rejected. For the third variable is operating hours. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference in operating hours among gender. The alternative hypothesis is that there is a significant difference in operating hours among gender. The result of p-value is 0.315, which is more than 0.1, which that the null hypothesis is not rejected. For the last variable is price. The null hypothesis is there is no significant difference of price among gender. The alternative hypothesis is that there is significant difference of price among gender. The result of p-value is 0.121, which is more than 0.1. With that, null hypothesis is not rejected. For the one-way ANOVA, first we refer to the summary model. Based on figure, the coefficient of determined R square for this model is 0.119, which show that 11.9% of the chain variation in the dependent variable demand for nasi kandar can be explained by the independent variable. Next, referring to the summary analysis of variance figure, the F value of 11.099 is significant at the significant level of 0.000. The total in which the four independent variables are able to explain the chain variation that occur in the dependent variable. According to finding of the study capital calculation, the price variable P equal 0.151 has the greatest impact on the overall demand for nasi kandar. If all other independent factors remain constant, an increase in the price of one unit will result in an increase in the total demand for nasi kandar by 0.151 units. For the Pearson correlation analysis, the null hypothesis is there is no significant relationship between location, variety of menu, operating hours and price. For the alternative hypothesis, there is a significant relationship between location, variety of menu, operating hours and price. As a result, we found that all variables have a positive relationship. With this, the null hypothesis is rejected. For the conclusion, the major goal of this study is to determine the link between student consumer demand for nasi kandar and the variable that affect it. All of dependent factors in this study are significant, with the dependent variable at the 1% level of significance according to the research that has been done. As a result, several significant contributions that can be made through the study have been described, along with ideas on how to make this study better for future researchers. I think that's all from me. Thank you.